Every action you take every day will determine whether you will be rich or poor in the future, sometimes willingly and sometimes unintentionally. Consider this: millionaires aren't always living the lifestyle you may imagine. Instead, they are frugal and inclined to spend only what they can afford. They're continually looking for ways to make their money grow rather than spend it. Whether you're a millionaire or not, some purchases just don't make sense to anyone who knows how to manage money. Thus, in this video, we will share with you 11 reasons why you're still broke or poor. 1. A new car. Real riches do not want attention. The attention chasers are usually uninformed athletes or television personalities who have just received their first huge paycheck and have opted to spend it all because they believe the money will keep coming. Thousands of new cars are sold each year, yet few customers can afford to pay cash for them. However, being unable to pay cash for a new car can equally imply being unable to afford the car. After all, being able to make the payment does not imply that you can afford the car. Additionally, by getting a loan to buy an automobile, the consumer pays interest on a depreciating asset, exacerbating the gap between the car's worth and the amount paid. Worse, many people trade in their cars every 2 or 3 years, resulting in a loss of money. A person may be forced to take out a loan to purchase a car, but how many buyers require a large SUV? Buying, insuring, and fueling such vehicles is costly. Unless you tow a boat or trailer or require an SUV to make a living, purchasing one can be costly. Consider buying a car that consumes less gas and costs less to insure and maintain, if you need to buy one, and/or borrow money to do so. Automobiles are costly, and if you buy more than you need, you may be wasting money that could have been saved or used to pay down debt. Don't get us wrong, we enjoy the thrill of driving a Lambo or a Ferrari now and then, but rich people in our experience drive high-end automobiles that prioritize comfort and security. A multimillionaire is more likely to be seen driving a Tesla or Volvo than a McLaren, even if the doors open in that fancy direction. 2. Leasing new cars. Chances are you're still in the dark when it comes to leasing. Someone good with money will almost certainly turn away. They won't say to themselves, "Oh, let me lease this $50,000 car, and then let me lease another one next year." Even if the monthly payment and upfront fees are lower with a lease, you'll never own the property like you would with a loan. Though a lease may appear to be a quick solution to avoid debt, individuals who are adept with money will see it differently. Buying and maintaining your autos for extended periods of time makes more financial sense if you're motivated by the lowest long-term cost. Those that are adept with money are less likely to be obsessed with having the latest and greatest. Therefore, leasing isn't the ideal option for them. 3. A formal education. Hear me out before you lob my head off. Individuals in the middle class feel that their wealth is determined by their investments in formal education. If good grades were the key to accumulating riches, every summa cum laude graduate would be a millionaire. Financial success has little to do with your ability to memorize textbook content, according to the mass affluent. Instead, they feel that learning certain skills, such as how to invest or network with influential people, will have a greater influence on their net worth. In truth, some of the world's wealthiest people lack formal education. According to Forbes, Dell Technologies CEO Michael Dell, who's worth an estimated $32 billion, walked out of the University of Texas at Austin when he was 19 years old. Dropping out of Reed College, according to Apple co-founder Steve Jobs, was one of the best moves he could have ever made. Change your mindset. A college diploma does not guarantee success or wealth. If you enjoy selling, for example, enroll in an online course to improve your sales skills. Bill Gates attributes much of his success to his annual reading of 50 books. Enlist the help of a financial expert to show you how to invest in stocks. 4. One source of income. Having a sole source of income is a way of life for most people, and this income is usually in the form of a paycheck. Unfortunately, occupations aren't as safe as most people believe. In reality, over 21 million workers were laid off by U.S. businesses in 2018, and it's probably higher after the recent pandemic, meaning that if your employment was your main source of income, your cash flow came to a halt. Think of yourself like a tree when it comes to earning potential. Do trees have only one branch that bears fruit? The answer is simple: no. Flowers and fruits are produced by several branches. You should too. You should continue to develop and learn new ways to make your money work for you. This is not only prudent, but also a secure technique of assisting you in sleeping at night. Take our word for it. The answers to each of these unhealthy behaviors, of course, differ from person to person. Someone may need to replace the mood-boosting elements of shopping with exercise, while another may need to chop up their reward card to avoid temptation. However, like with any bad habit, the first step is to admit that you need to change your behavior. If you're constantly jeopardizing your financial security, it's time to take a step back and assess your situation. Knowing that you're jeopardizing your own chances for freedom could be the motivation you need to finally get out of debt. 5. Interest-free loans. Stores that offer no-interest loans, like credit cards that offer points and prizes, are simply drawing in potential borrowers and persuading them to spend more than they can afford. The terrible part is that many people who take advantage of such deals don't pay off their loans before the interest-free term expires and are then hit with fines and even retroactive interest from the so-called interest-free period. Always read the fine print and keep in mind that interest-free loans aren't interest-free until you're certain you'll be able to pay it off before the grace period ends. 6. Lifestyle inflation. You presumably expect to have a better financial situation as you get older than you had as a young adult. Your earning capacity can be affected by a better job, a raise, or even natural economic inflation. The difference between individuals who are successful in developing their money and those who are constantly struggling is how they manage their income and expenses. It's tempting to invest these extra funds on a new home, a vacation, or simply raising your daily spending. But doing so could put you right back where you started. Consider the following scenario. Who's actually in a better financial situation? If Bill earns $60,000 per year and spends $45,000, while Jeff earns $150,000 and spends $175,000. Even though Bill earns less, earnings aren't the main key in accumulating wealth. It's all about how you handle your money. Unfortunately, lifestyle inflation is a normal element of earning more and advancing up the corporate ladder for most people, but it's only acceptable if you stay within your budget. It becomes troublesome as soon as you start going into debt to afford a specific way of life. Maintain your essential financial freedom by just spending what you can afford. 7. Dependents you can't afford. This one is a bit tricky, we know, especially if there's family involved, but give me a minute to explain. So now you have a stream of revenue, which feels fantastic, but don't get too comfy because you haven't yet arrived at your target. You've just begun your quest for financial freedom, which will take years, if not decades. Don't fall into the trap of becoming the go-to person for all of your beleaguered family and friends. Before inviting others to share your home, you must first construct it. Before focusing on alleviating the issues of others, save and invest to protect your future. Rather than spending your active income, which can be terminated at any time by someone else's actions, use the gains from your assets to help others. Many dependent people can earn a living, but they're unable to do so because someone else allows them to be idle, depriving them of the opportunity to express their creativity. Instead of assisting your dependents, empower them. Encourage them to look for ways to help themselves, rather than relying on others. Instead of just giving your dependents money, you might participate with them in ventures that you finance. 8. A house you can't afford. Those who are smart with money know that the best piece of real estate is the one they can afford, and they don't want to spend more than they can afford on a property. Allow me to paint you a picture of a hypothetical individual. By spending frugally and using credit card advantages, they were able to pay off their home by the age of 40, and they were able to travel for multiple months of the year. When it came to purchasing a home, they and their partner purchased a far smaller home than they could have in order to seek early retirement and mortgage-free living. They'd have a lot less money to save and invest each month toward early retirement if they'd acquired a bigger residence. They'd also have to slash their annual travel expenditure significantly. It's a win-win situation. Housing affordability calculators may tell you that you could spend twice as much on a home as you think, but disregard them and chart your own course. 9. Luxury goods from brand name designers. Brand names, tags, and labels are less important to those who are good with money. Showing off one's wealth is no longer a technique to demonstrate one's wealth. Since 2007, the wealthiest 1% of the population in the United States has spent less on material items. Instead of buying branded products, many wealthy people these days prefer to spend their money on seclusion, specialized wellness and exercise regimens, and investing in education. 10. A bad budget. You spend money as soon as it enters your account. Every single person complains about not having enough money, yet none of them has any idea where their money goes. Do you think keeping track of your costs is difficult? Do you know what's even more difficult? Staying poor and unable to purchase anything. Wake up and realize how much money you're wasting on subscriptions and unnecessary purchases. That money could be used to pay down debt or fill in other financial gaps. Poor individuals are skilled at surviving on little to no money, so when they do get paid, they spend it quickly to return to their default, fearful that life will take it away from them. Every guide will tell you that budgeting and planning are the best ways to go. How can you expect things to get better in your life? It's a good idea to keep track of how much money you make and how much you spend. It's the first step in realizing how vulnerable your situation is. 11. A gambling and lottery addiction. Nobody will be able to save you. No lamp has ever produced a genie, and Jesus isn't descending to pay your rent. Life is a game of chance. The more you comprehend this, the faster you'll be able to escape poverty. Every day, all wealthy people do is concentrate their energies on increasing their chances of making more money. Poor individuals entrust this possibility, and thus their destiny, to the universe. When you stop crafting your own future, you end up with whatever is left over, or whatever crumbs people are willing to toss your way. It's all about having control in life. Get as much as you can out of it. Discipline yourself and your surroundings until you can foretell the future. You will not need luck after you've gained control. Rich individuals do not believe in luck and do not require it. Poor folks have bad luck. You don't need luck if you work hard. I'll leave you with these insightful words. It's your habit of thinking of yourself as poor, as someone who will never be affluent, as someone who isn't smart, good, or educated enough that keeps you impoverished. People less fortunate than you have retreated from poverty, yet you moan that things aren't getting any easier for you. Sure, life is difficult. Perhaps it was much more difficult for you than it was for everybody else. But what are your plans? Do you want to drown in the sorrow of it all, or do you want to get up and start walking? You'll get where you want to go if you keep moving, learning, and improvising along the way. Thank you so much for watching, and have a great day, and I'll see you all in the next one.